赤くもゆる空の下で愛しさが溢れた紡がれし者語りへと新たなる決意届けるよ
Hey everyone, so I know I'm a few years late for this kind of video, but as you can tell from the title, I recently watched DANMACHI, otherwise known as Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, just because I was browsing Netflix on my smart TV and didn't feel like going to my computer to watch anime. I selected this anime by random with little to no expectations. I finished the first few seasons casually in a matter of days. I enjoyed it, enough to check the App Store to see whether or not there were any gacha games for the anime. Turns out there was a game, and the reviews were mostly positive, so I gave the game a try. Here are my initial thoughts. Long story short, the combat can be fairly bland to the majority of players, and I'd only recommend this game as a side game / waifu collector for people who thoroughly enjoyed the anime and or light novels. I can't imagine someone brand new to the series getting hooked on this game unless they were really fond of the cute and chibi character designs. Of course, the game's campaign does introduce you to the story, but I'd recommend you read the light novels or watch the anime if you want to understand the world of DANMACHI. Otherwise, I don't see this game having anything in the beginning that would hook many players compared to what other gacha games have to offer. For some reason, when I started, I was given a maxed out Belle Cornell. I'm not sure if this was for an event, or maybe it's to help casual players who just want to watch the cutscenes breeze through the story, but it was surely an extremely nice gesture from the devs to give you a maxed out character from the start. Because of this, I just used this character along with some random pulls I got to breeze through the beginning of the story on auto. Although I understand most games to have a ridiculously easy early game, I couldn't help but be bored just watching my characters walk across the screen, kill some enemies, and that's it. There was no challenge yet because of the overpowered character they gave you. At least from my initial impression, the combat system is a standard turn-based battle system, which isn't inherently bad, but not extremely engaging at least at this point of the game. Paired with the chibi and simplistic character models, the overall gameplay failed to hook me. Nonetheless, I wanted to give this game a fair chance, so I continued to auto my way through adventure, spending my currency on pulls whenever I can, and basically starting to build my waifu collection, which I figured would be the main motivation behind playing this game. Coming into it this late into the game's life, I had no expectations on becoming top ranked in PvP, especially if I plan on staying free to play. As someone who's enjoyed the anime, I just wanted to remain free to play while collecting as many waifus as I can. It didn't take long for me to realize that this game is designed to be more of a side game than a main game, so I just continued to play it casually on the side while I played other games. The staleness and boredom I experienced continued on for about 1 to 2 weeks when suddenly things got a bit more interesting. I pulled most of the 4-star characters from the event banners using my free-to-play volleys, and with the abundance of materials I earned from campaigning, I used them to level up my 4 stars as much as possible, and before you knew it, I had increased their power a tremendous amount, enough to where their power can be acknowledged by my maxed out Belle Cornell, the point at which the majority of my team was now dealing considerable damage as opposed to only Belle doing all the damage, made the battles more satisfying. Instead of them holding my Belle Cornell back, now they are actually supporting him as well as dealing decent damage to the enemy. This power spike was what greatly motivated me to complete quests and events in order to strengthen my waifus as much as possible. I enjoyed seeing the drastic improvement. The gameplay was still simple, and you could just auto most things, but seeing your damage improve, in addition to flashy skill animations, does add some amusement to the otherwise bland gameplay. Now I'll just quickly go over some extra things I liked about the game and things I disliked about the game from my first impression. The first concern to address is whether this game is free-to-play friendly. For the most part, I think it is free-to-play friendly, assuming you're not trying to become top ranked in PvP. Sure, some gacha aspects might be gated by paid currency, but 99.99% of things can be obtained from your regularly earned currency in the game. Like most gacha games, you just need to save your resources and then use them appropriately whenever an event or special character banner comes up. As long as you're not impulsively pulling gacha whenever you get the opportunity to, you should have a relatively fair chance to pull every character and assist, with the exception of past events and collaborations. You just won't have the luxury of pulling all 6 or however many copies you need to max a character out, which shouldn't be a big concern if you're a casual player like myself. For the most part, DANMACHI Memoria Freese does a commendable job at trying to provide you a sufficient amount of events and side content to keep you busy, although some of these activities can feel pretty inadequate and partial. They have a sad attempt at casino poker, where you don't really play poker and you're not even playing against other people. Conversely, one mechanic that is implemented well that I think provides value to the game is the ability to interact with your favorite characters. Normally I wouldn't care, but in this game there is an incentive of interacting with characters, which is that it improves your bond with them, which results in bonus stats or items. Additionally, you can read up on some of their backstories as well as dress them up in a myriad of different outfits that are all unique and well drawn. There's still much of the game I have yet to explore in detail, such as the guild and familia systems, PvP, and other side events. I might save those for a future video, but for now, I definitely see myself continuing to play this game as a side game and waifu collector, even though things were looking pretty grim at the beginning. Like I said in the beginning, if you're not a fan of the series, then this game isn't for you. I don't believe the gameplay alone is enough to warrant sticking to this game, as I believe most current players of the game stick with it due to their love of the waifus and the series as a whole. Let me know if you disagree to that statement, but I know that many players were not wowed during their first couple hours of playing this game, and I'll agree to that part of it. As I continue playing, hopefully I can pull all my favorite waifus from the show without spending any money, and I'll be sure to share my journey with you all as I build my waifu collection in the world of DANMACHI. If you stayed this long into the video, then I want to personally give you a huge thanks. Whether you're a fan of DANMACHI or you're a fan of my other content, I greatly appreciate you watching. Let me know in the comments below if you've played or are currently playing this game. I'd love to hear your thoughts, whether you agree or disagree with my opinions. If you have not played this game but enjoyed the anime and light novels greatly, then I'd implore you to give it a shot if you really like the waifus in the show. Thanks again for watching everyone. I'll see you in the next one.